This is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12 from the King James Version. These words were written by the Apostle Paul to Timothy, a young man he had entrusted with leadership in the early church at Ephesus. Timothy was serving among older believers, experienced teachers, and a community facing confusion, false teaching, and pressure from within and without. Because of his age, his authority was sometimes questioned and his confidence tested. Paul writes to steady him, "Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers, in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity." 1 Timothy 4 verse 12, KJV. These words settle on character, not position. At this point in the letter, Paul is not telling Timothy to argue louder, prove himself, or demand respect. He is pointing him toward a quieter authority, a life that speaks clearly without force. In the first century church, leadership did not rest on age alone, but neither was youth easily trusted. Timothy stood in a real place of tension, surrounded by expectations, scrutiny, and responsibility. The core truth of this verse is simple and firm. Spiritual credibility is shown through visible faithfulness, not personal status. Paul names specific areas of life: speech, daily conduct, love toward others, inner integrity, trust in God, and moral purity. These were not abstract ideals. They were things the people around Timothy would see in ordinary moments: conversations, decisions, relationships, and restraint. The verse does not promise that youth will never be judged. It shows how faith can remain steady even when it is. This instruction still rests where it was first placed, on the lived example of belief. Not performance, not age, not force. It invites the listener to consider what kind of witness is formed quietly, over time, through consistency. You may wish to remain with this verse for a moment, or return to it again later, and let its clarity speak without haste. Thank you for listening with Jesus-DailyVerse. You're welcome to subscribe and return for more scripture shared with care and stillness.